Well, that is hilarious to some and a huge waste of taxpayer time and money to others. Actually, you can feel both. Congressman Steve King is an Iowa Republican on that subcommittee. All right, Congressman, there's no question that Stephen Colbert is a funny comedian. And, you know, he delivers a funny bit and he, you know, makes people laugh. What the hell was he doing before the U.S. Congress?
There was no rational reason for him to be there. I think this started back some weeks or months ago when the chair, Zoe Lofgren from California, was in close relations with the United Farm Workers Union, and they set this up, and it got a life of its own. This was dropped on us. I've known about this for a few days, but I didn't know that he was going to go in and testify in character. I read his written testimony last night. It was about 1 1/4 pages long, double-spaced, without much substance, and their witnesses requested to summarize their written testimony in 5 minutes. He went off on a comedy routine that he had written as a separate document, and I think it's an insult to the time and an insult to the intelligence of the American people that Congress has conducted themselves in this fashion. And I think one point that he made, that there'll be a lot of Democrats looking for work this fall, that is an accurate point, and I think that was accelerated by their conduct in this hearing today.
You know, as we look at the reaction shots from the lawmakers up there, they seem like they were enjoying it, like they were laughing. I mean, did you get a chance to speak with Zoe Lofgren after the hearing or during the hearing about how she felt about her decision to invite him and then to stand by that decision, even when a fellow Democrat, John Conyers, said, I don't think this is appropriate and I don't think you should testify?
Well, we don't have that close a personal relationship, and we didn't have much of a conversation, although I did ask her point blank if she anticipated that Chairman Conyers would ask Steve Colbert to leave the room and just leave his testimony. She said she didn't anticipate that and didn't know he was going to do it, so that's as close as it came. But you know how lawmakers are. There were more cameras in the room than I've seen in a long time, and so they're very aware of that, and they're always glad to get a little camera time, and that did dictate some of the conduct of some of the panel members.
Congressman, do you think that Zoe Lofgren owes this country an apology for wasting our taxpayer dollars and your time? There's a lot of problems going on in Capitol Hill right now. There are a lot of problems in this country. You're talking about immigration. Obviously, that's a huge issue, especially to our friends along the southern border. Talking about unemployment and whether immigrants should take U.S. jobs. You got 14.9 million people unemployed in this country right now. And while it's great to listen to Stephen Colbert on Comedy Central at night, many people perceive that as a huge waste of your time and our taxpayer dollars. And does she owe us an apology?
Well, Megan, we have enough problems here on the Hill to make a blanket request like that. I don't know, but I will say this, that she and Stephen Colbert, among them, disparage the people that do hard work in America every day. She went out and did some work on this farm, and Stephen Colbert did some work on this farm. I pointed out that he was actually unpacking a crate of sweet corn, and it has to be going the other direction if it's going to be shipped off the farm. You don't unpack them there.
Wait, are you telling me he's not, in fact, an expert?
That he what?
He's not, in fact, an expert? You're telling me he didn't actually have his facts right?
I don't think he had his facts right. I saw the video, and the video looks to me like it was staged. And he did have his facts right in his written testimony where he said he had a sliver of insight. That would be all. But he didn't do real work. They said it was hot, it was hard. I saw no sweat. I've done a lot of that work, and I made that point today. There are a lot of people that go out every day and do real hard work, and they're proud of it, and they should be, and they compete with each other to demonstrate how much they can produce in a day. That's part of the American spirit. And all of that was disparaged by them claiming that the work was too hard for Americans, so we have to bring in illegals to do that work because they don't have the leverage that we have. I say we're proud workers here in America, and we do a lot every day, Megan.
You know, this is the roughest of estimates, but the House Judiciary Committee has a budget of almost $19 million for the 111th Congress. The website lists 151 hearings that you've held during the Congress, and as a crude measure, on average, each of these hearings costs the taxpayers $125,000. $125,000 for that little bit about Steve Colbert's day on the farm. Congressman Steve King, we always love hearing from you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Megan. I appreciate it.
And you got to tip your hat to John Conyers, calling out his fellow Democrat, but to no avail. What do you think about it? Was it great? Was it hilarious? Did he make an even bigger joke of the U.S. Congress than most people already think they are? Or was it totally inappropriate? Or both?